What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And today, we're here with the KIZUNA Clash versus King. And this particular KIZUNA Clash is somewhat special because there are not only just, this character we're farming for. We want to get our hands on this brand new free-to-play character, King. But there is also another character that is going to be in this KIZUNA Clash that you can go ahead and use your exchange tickets for. And that is going to be a brand new Onami and Orobi character. Now, you can see that in this treasure list right here, on each of these boxes, you want to ensure that you get those rainbow chests before you move on to those next levels. And there's 4 different rainbow chests to get. You've got the 2 Super Evolution Skulls, one for Sanji, one for Mihawk, and then you've got the Limit Break Orbs for both King and Nami Robin. So make sure to get those rainbow chests before moving on to the next one. Now, I actually haven't looked myself in terms of how many items in box 7. We have 1,018, and we've got some copies of the character, and there are some limit break jewels for the characters as well, but of course, you get them guaranteed just by playing through, so make sure to not skip out on them. We get some Almighty Manuals. There's obviously going to be some tablets, 5 of each tablet. Okay, that's pretty stock standard. Some damage reduction tablets. This looks like a pretty stock standard KIZUNA, like nothing out of the ordinary. I thought they might have done something where they have like either increased rewards or maybe increased ticket drops, but it doesn't seem to be the case. It looks like a regular KIZUNA, but with just a very minor amount of additional orbs and characters of different KIZUNAs. But ensure that you get those limit break orbs for these characters because it's very, very important. Now, before we actually get into the KIZUNA Clash, showing you guys my free-to-play teams and also my personal teams, let's go ahead and talk about each of these characters real quick. So first of all, here we have the brand new King, who is a quick powerhouse driven. Captain effect will boost quick by 3.5, health by 1.2, and then give you 10% damage reduction. For a free-to-play captain, this is actually pretty good. Actually kind of impressed about that. Didn't realize it was actually that good. Very good captain effect for a free-to-play unit. Now, special ability though, changes adjacent slots into matching, reduces the crew's chain multiplier lock and chain multiplier reduction by 6 turns, and then also for 3 turns, boost the attack of quick characters by 2.25 times after the 12th hit in the combo chain. Very reminiscent actually of Ambushed Linlin. Ambushed Linlin would be a driven and powerhouse booster after the 12th hit in the combo chain, as well as give 6 turns of utility. Very similar to that, except it's just for quick, and the utility that this character provides is nowhere near as good as Ambushed Linlin, but still a useful unit that you may need to use depending on the content you're coming up against. You never know when you're going to need a unit like this. But also, the thing about it is this unit is actually not too bad in PvP. He has a great passive for those quick teams. I've already made a video on my YouTube channel talking about how good the quick team is, and it already beats Roger and Odin, and we don't even have some of the better units for the team yet. This is an awesome unit. So we get level 5 attack, level 5 speed, and then this character is probably a character you'd want on the bench because if there's less time, he does more damage to more enemies. So that's what you'd want to be doing there. So King actually is pretty decent. Now there's actually this free-to-play Kinemon who is like the free-to-play Fortnite Neo KIZUNA unit that you would use on the Nami Robin KIZUNA, but because they've merged both of the KIZUNAs together, you just get this free-to-play character from the boxes. He's not like super amazing. He gives you -2 cooldown to all of your characters, reduces 4 turns of attack down in a KIZUNA Clash, and reduces 4 turns of damage threshold in a KIZUNA Clash. He does have the Sailor effect though, that resists 2 turns of special reverse, so you can use him in that kind of situation if you do get special reversed, but not like an amazing unit overall. And of course, the final unit that you're going to be getting is this Onami and Orobi, who is a Dex Free Spirit Cerebral. Captain effect is going to be a 3 times boost to all characters, 1.2 health to all characters, and Dex slots will be matching. So not an amazing captain effect, but special ability, which is going to go ahead and reduce one enemy's health by 15%, give you -6 turns of paralysis, and also reduce everyone's cooldowns by 1, and give your crew 2 times orb boost for 1 turn, and also reduce increased damage taken by 3 turns. This is a really strong unit. This is essentially like a weaker, nerfed version of the legend Nami Robin. It gives you paralysis reduction and also an orb boost, and also does a health cut. Like, it's essentially a nerfed version of the legend version of Nami and Robin, except this unit is not a dual unit, of course. And then in Pirate Rumble, this is like a Dex supporter unit that you'd want to be running. Not too bad, but not an amazing special ability, unfortunately. So that is the rundown of all of the brand new characters coming up in this KIZUNA Clash. Make sure to get this done, get those tablets, get those rewards, get this character super evolved, and I will probably try and make some videos with the brand new super evolved characters over the coming days. So that's going to wrap up this part of the video. Let's go ahead and now jump into the actual KIZUNA Clash versus King. So jumping into this KIZUNA clash, first of all, we're going to go through the free-to-play teams, and we have the timestamps down below on the timeline of the video and in the video description if you want to skip to a certain team. But for the versus quick variation, which is the first boss that you'll be encountering, you predominantly want to be building a team of slashers, cerebrals, and striker characters. Those characters will receive significant cooldown at the start of the fight, so their specials will be ready as soon as you possibly can get them. On the second stage, you'll deal with Queen, who's a quick unit with 2 million health. His preemptive attack gives you 4 turns of special bind, and this is where the Legend V3 Zora comes into play, because his captain effect automatically resists 10 turns of special bind, and if you don't kill stage 2, by turn 3, you'll get given 5 turns of special reverse, which is obviously going to spell the end of your run in most cases. And in the final stage versus King, he has, obviously starting off at 7.5 million, and he scales up from there. And he has 98 turns of a full immunity, 98 turns of normal attacks only is inflicted to your team, 3 turns of attack down, 5 turns of paralysis. Your slots are changed into block, and they're locked for 1 turn. And after you reach level 31, an additional turn of paralysis will be added, so it's going to be 6 turns total of paralysis. And the thing is after you kill this king, he's going to revive with 21% of his health, and after he does that on turn 1, so after the first turn of attacks, he applies an additional 3 turns of paralysis and also 3 turns of a tap limit debuff. So you can only tap with 3 characters after the revive. So it's really annoying, and you can't even bring Ambush Garb to kill him because Ambush Garb will not get cooldown at the start of the quest. So it's quite troublesome in that situation there, but with this free-to-play team, you can see you have multiple paralysis reducers, which makes the job a lot easier. Moving on now to the second boss, which is versus the Psi variation. Now, with this team, you want to be predominantly building a Dex, Psi, and Int based team. Those are the characters that will be receiving cooldown, but predominantly you want to be building Int because the boss obviously is a Psi unit. Now, on the second stage, you'll be dealing with Jack, who is an Int character, and he has 2 million health, and his preemptive attack gives him 98 turns of a delay immunity, and he has 4 turns of damage threshold. Now, with this free-to-play team, in this example, we're using the treasure map Reiju to remove that damage threshold, as well as applying a conditional boost just to make the Jack fight just a little easier. Now, on the final stage versus King, he has, again, you know, upwards of over 7.5 million health. He'll have a full immunity buff. More normal attacks only is inflicted to your team. King on the final stage also has resilience, and it's a 5-turn resilience, and he gives you badly matching slots. However, after level 32 in this KIZUNA clash, he's going to inflict 8 turns of despair to your team, which is why I would strongly advise to use Law as a friend captain or as your own captain, just to make it a lot easier to get around the despair. Plus, Law is a phenomenal orb booster for the int typing, so he is just perfect for this fight. And after level 32, not only do you get inflicted with despair, but an additional turn of resilience is also added, so it'll be 6 turns total. And this is why I would advise an end of turn damage dealer as the best option to get around this, unless if you have a unit that can outright remove those 6 turns, such as the new limited time Perospero. If you do not have him as your friend captain, then you'd probably want to be using someone like not Colosseum Kid, but KIZUNA Kid, like I do in this example team. Now, the final free-to-play team that we have here is versus the Strength variation, and you want to be building a team that is Strength, Quick, or Int. Those characters will receive the cooldown at the start of the quest. On the second stage, you'll deal with X Drake, who has a 2 million health total. He is also a strength unit, so as long as you build a quick team, as you should be doing, Drake's not really going to be that difficult. But Drake will bind your bottom row for 6 turns, so that's obviously quite an annoying thing to get around. But on the final stage versus King, as we said, he's also a strength unit, and his preemptive will give himself a delay immunity, defense down immunity, and poison immunity. So ideally, you want to actually be bringing someone that can apply maybe some sort of debuff that is not one of those 3, such as, you know, versus Kaido, not really versus Kaido, sorry, but V2 Kaido, who will enable the increased damage taken towards the enemy. He's perfect for that. Or someone like Mihawk and Perona, so you can get a guaranteed conditional boost against them. Or as you'll see in my team a little bit later on, Legend Onami is also a really, really solid choice for type advantage and also getting that guaranteed conditional boost, which is great. But also you can see that your middle row is binded for 6 turns, and after level 30, that will become an 8-turn bind, so it'll be 5 turns after your sockets. Now you can see that there was 4 turns of Rainbow Shield, and after level 30 there will be an additional 4 turns of defense up, Blue Shield. So after level 30 you're going to have to deal with Blue and Rainbow Shield, so make sure you have a character that can remove both of those defensive effects. And now moving on to my personal team here that we have versus King for the quick variation. Shout out to my girl Carissa for helping me build these teams. But here we have a team that is full on going to be at the highest ticket booster that we can possibly run. Obviously lucky enough to pull that Perispera, even though it was quite a painful Sugo Fest, we were lucky enough to at least get that Perispera, who is a 5 times captain to Cerebral and Driven characters throughout this KIZUNA Clash, and also giving those ticket boosts is very, very nice. But also having Montador plus Perispera, that gets around most of the debuffs on a lot of these stages, which is really nice, so you can fill out the rest of your team with just ways to get around the debuffs. Now in this team I'm using Vivi and Rebecca V2 to get around the special bind. I'm not really too sure how much this is going to be used throughout this KIZUNA and whether I'm going to be changing it, but at the moment it's obviously fine because it is early stages throughout this KIZUNA Clash. Now obviously we have the Perispera and the Montador to get around most of the other debuffs here, but of course he does revive on this stage, so we're going to have a Perispera on the first turn and a Perispera on the revive, and luckily, you know, because he does paralyze us on the revive, he will get access to Perispera, which can, you know, obviously get rid of paralysis on both turns, as well as give an attack boost on both turns. But because of Vivi Rebecca, we don't get Perispera's 2.25 times attack boost, which is a little annoying, but the switch effect of Vivi Rebecca plus the special of Crocodile gives us a really, really nice looking chain buff, so that's going to give us a huge amount of damage, you know, like definitely more than any other chain locker that we could put on the team, which is why I ran this combination. And then on the revive, you know, the paralysis is obviously annoying, but Nami's a great choice too, because she's going to give us color affinity plus an orb boost, and then Perispera gives an attack boost, so great combination of units that we have on this team. Taking a look now at our second team versus the Psy variation. As I mentioned in the free-to-play section, Despair after level 31 is going to be a bit of a problem, or level 32. So I'm running Halloween Mihawk as my captain, and I have Perispera Friend with my own Perispera as a sub to get as many tickets as I possibly can. Now, stage 2 we have to deal with the damage threshold, but we're just going to go ahead and use Halloween Boa to remove that. It also makes Strength Dex and Quick Slots counters beneficial to our team, which obviously helps us out in terms of damage output. And then we can use the Law Special on this stage as well, so that we get the higher orb boost on the following turn on the final boss stage. Also, Halloween Shanks is a phenomenal unit here because we have a full board of int characters, so he'll give us a chain boost and a color affinity for all of our characters because they are all cerebral or slasher units, so that is absolutely perfect. And then we have obviously Montador plus Perispera to give the other debuff removals and also damage output. And Montador, of course, will change the badly matching slots that we get into matching, and I'm pretty sure this team is going to be working throughout the entire duration of this event, but we'll have to wait and see if any changes need to be made. And now moving on to the final team, which is going to be my team versus the strength variation. Now, prior to doing this, I actually had Mihawk and Perona as my last unit, but I decided to replace them with Onami because it just made a lot more sense. We can actually get their conditional boost, plus we can have the support of that Chopper character, which gives us a color affinity boost to our cerebral units and also our quick units, which is perfect. So every unit on this team will actually get a color affinity boost without us actually having to bring a color affinity booster. It's just a perfect storm of units here. We have Kaido, obviously, for his amazing 2 times damage increase to the enemy. We have Kamazo, which gives us a chain lock. We have the Montador, of course, which gives us his amazing debuff removal. We have the Perispera for our attack boost. And also we have Doflamingo as a support attached to Kaido, which will give our driven units a 1.75 times orb boost, because there's no orb booster on this team. So that means that everyone will get the orb boost except for Onami and Montador, but it means our Perisperas, our Kaido, and also our Kamazo are going to be hitting ridiculously hard with all of these amazing specials that we have active here. So again, this is another one that should last a long time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today though. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.